Yo, Secret House Against. Welcome back. Tokyo-based hip-hop conversations, underground and independent, abstract, avant-garde, experimental type of musics. You know what I mean? People out there in the mud and whatnot.
Sounding like an auctioneer right now.
Yeah, you know. We do non-reviews. This is mostly conversations and stuff. We take music as serious as it takes itself. And often take long walks off short tangents and get knee-deep in deep theory type of shit. You know what I mean?
What?
But yeah, you know me and Jet, we are lefty Marxist little type of people. And today we got the big homie. We got Jeno over here. Jeno is an artist and been putting it down for, West Coast hip hop his entire life. He around my same age. And he do music, and we've been out here in Tokyo together for a long time. But today we got Jeno here. We linked up. We're going to talk about an album by Sunmundi and Klwn Cat, Lived and Born. 12 songs, 33 minutes. It came out on the 23rd of February, so about a week or half or two ago. But he was kind enough to go ahead and push this to us early, and so I've had it in rotation for a few weeks. How do y'all know Sunmundi?
Through the Discord server that we run.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I know. That's how I know of him as well. I've listened to his, when he dropped in, I checked him out a little bit. I checked out Shamar a little bit, and so that's how I know him. He collaborated with Shamar as well, the cat we did before. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word.
I know him just from this project here, Lived and Born.
So the last week, because I hit you up with like Monday or something like that. So yeah, okay. Bet, I don't know a lot about Sunmundi. I did reach out to him and say that I wanted to do a Zoom interview.
Zoom thing, yeah.
I mean, and I was kind of feeling a way about that, to be honest with you, because I feel like our homie at the Rap Music Plug podcast is already knee deep in doing that. And even though I've been interviewing artists for over a decade, so be it, with Secret House, I've always only done in studio. And when COVID hit, that's why I kind of took my foot off of the gas, because I appreciate the in studio. That's why we got so many names on the table, and with the type of cast that we be with. But maybe it would be nice.
I mean, yeah, like we've had a few people, like dope people, reach out to us and ask if they can come on the show, talk to us via Zoom. Heems hit me up the other day, and we talked a little bit, and he said he wanted to come on the show if he had some time, just talk shit a little bit.
Curly Castro
yesterday is coming for my head. He's going to kill me. And it's like, obviously it's dope to do this shit, but like, maybe we should find a different format to just interviewing them. Like,
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to like litigate the albums, like. Do promo, but at the same time doing something a little bit more interesting, maybe a supplementary material to the review or supplementary to the album itself.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it, because like the homies at the Dad Rap podcast are super dope at doing the Zoom interviews. Call Out Culture with Curly Castro is super dope at doing those conversations, and so is Rohan at the Rap Music Plug podcast. But we'll figure it out. I'm gonna hit him up and we'll do something. Maybe we can figure out a different approach, a different methodology. Because that's how secret. That's how both of y'all been on my podcast before, and that's how it was. It's like at the end we throw random questions. We mostly just it's different. But anyways, this album from Sunmundi is also in collaboration with Klwn Cat, who what I could find is that he's a San Diego producer, beat maker, musician. Shout out to San Diego. I grew up in Inglewood and in Oceanside. I was back in Oceanside back when it was still 619. So shout out to San Diego, HDK, Style Syndicate, 760, Forcefield, Citadel. You know what I mean? So rest in peace, Brian Bell. I love San Diego. I love all my San Diego people. My sisters still live out there. This album is not the first time they worked together. I don't have all the details. Do you have details?
No, I don't have details.
Yeah, I like to freak it, like, you know what I mean? But so let's get right into you know what I mean, the album and your thoughts on it. Who wants to go first? Are we gonna rush
you guys looking at me?
Just,
all right.
I'll A-Mike it all day.
I mean, thoughts. I think this album is like ill in like a pretty unique way. It's a pretty progressive record. It's doing some things that I haven't really seen before, and it's interesting in the sense that if Spade was here, I think he'd probably hate it, because it's not an album that is like, even though there is craft behind it and it is a well-crafted album, like what makes this album kind of stand out and what makes this album so interesting to me is just how kind of unlike anything else I've heard it can be in places. Sunmundi is like he's rapping his ass off on all of these tracks, but it's not like in like a Lupe Fiasco way or a Kendrick Lamar type of way. You know, a lot of the times like the rhyme schemes aren't crazy complex. You know, the breath control is good, but like you can hear him like running out of breath as he goes on these long runs.
There's an urgency to it and intensity.
But a lot of the stuff he's just saying, you know, the lyrics as opposed to the lyricism is just fucking ill.
Yeah, true that.
Like, he's saying so much really, really dope shit on this record. It's like, it's personally affecting. Sometimes it's relatable. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's sad. There's a lot going on lyrically.
Word.
And like, it was kind of, even though the album is 33 minutes long, it's a pretty tough listen just because of the sheer amount of like ideas and emotions being projected in such a short period of time. And you know, they're dense tracks. They're very, very dense tracks. Each track is like a few minutes, you know, 3-4 minutes long. But if you pull up the lyrics, you know,
they don't got them on Spotify like that. Jet showed me some posts. He got the lyrics on his joint, and I was like, I've been trying to write them down as I listen. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I mean, fuck streaming, but shouts out to Apple Music. They pay slightly more than Spotify do.
If I could slow you down for a second, just to comment on the idea, like the kind of the sonic qualities of the album and how they relate to things. We were talking a little bit before we started, and Jeno is a music artist himself, so he don't stay tapped into the cause and other artists like that. He busy working and flexing his own craft and such. But this kind of minimal, rhythmless, often rhythmless style is what we're getting here. I saw somebody kind of compare in the Discord, in the Rap Music Plug Discord, there was a funny post. Somebody was comparing this to Dr. Yenlo, which is, you know, Ka and Preservation, and how that album is kind of similar in an approach, right? But if you get into and while there's something to be said, and this is one of the reasons I don't think that Spade would like the album, because it lacks like a rhythm section in a lot of the tracks, even though there are, I don't want to call it drumless, because some of them do have drums, some of them are like cymbals riding through the whole thing, like
there are rhythmic elements, so it's percussion,
some percussion there.
But you know, they're very minimal, and this is not nod your head music. This is keep your head still type of music.
Kick snare.
So what were your general thoughts?
You know, I was gonna say there's been a few artists who've done it like that in the past, but I think this project, that's a standout feature because it's kind of all that way. You know, it's the main 2 and 4 beat snare that would be in most like 90-something% of songs isn't there, and that changes the feeling a lot. And the thing is, most of it is actually on beat, but it's hard to notice it because of the absence of that snare and some kicks, you know. So he says artist, so many words, so it's hard to know that. He's hitting it in the spots, though.
Yeah,
he's hitting it in the spots. You know?
It's true. Like, when you have that style, one of the things I like to say is like, and this is just very anecdotal and not very true in any general sense of truth, but there's like two types of MCs, right? There's the ones that rhyme like drummers and the ones that rhyme like horn players. And so when you have a drummer MC, their percussion, the way they hit that word and their sentence and the emphasis, on tracks like this, it allows you to kind of follow a rhythm and keep it like that. Sunmundi is kind of the like both of those. There's an intensity that feels like he's just blowing, you know, air it, like it's coming at you rapid fire. And the way that he meters his rhymes is not on like a regular timing, even though sometimes it is. And so, like, for me, this album was a pretty wild listen. Usually I make my notes as I listen to an album. When I listen to this album, I kept being pulled in and interrogating my own thoughts on what he was saying. It's kind of like when I first started reading Zizek, like, you know, 15 years ago or whatever. It's like, I'd be like, word Hegel, you know, word Marx, word Lacan, you know, the Sublime, and so on. And then I would get to the end of the page and be like, wait, what the fuck did I just read? And then so Sunmundi, who is also extremely verbose and thought-provoking and relatable, he bombs these deeply poetic, philosophical, rapper run-on sentences in off-kilter patterns on some like organic intellectual vigor, like real, you know what I mean? Like, he a mud Buddha, he a Bodhi. Like, when you listen to him, there's like wisdom in it, you know. I probably need to read more of the bars to get it, but it's like a whirling dervish. You get all spun around and you have to question, like, what was the track about? Like, what was he getting off? There's a lot of things to be said. Yeah, there's a lot of...
It's a trip. It's just a nice trip, you know? That's what it is. You're just kind of roll with it. It feels like the first time I did shrooms.
There's like an overtone of a few themes in this. You know what I mean? There seems to be themes of like life and death and reincarnation and rebirth. And I really found the album tremendous for a lot of those reasons. I was so seriously impressed with Sunmundis Style, like on the project that what was it, my nature, I forget the one that the Shamar track, Shamar produced all of it, but man, that mic check track
Nature
is like
of My Nature.
Nature of My Nature. That's like got drums behind it, and that's my favorite track of the year, even though it came out last year. I played that song a million times, and I love these new. I don't want to like make it seem like I'm like an old head and they're like the youth or anything like that. But I think he on one of the songs he said like 25, and to me that's not old,
right?
But like that, but it's not young and inexperienced or without wisdom. But I love these new cats who are bombing with raps with this great radical potential. These are like the new styler musician MCs that we're increasingly finding. They have some shit to say. You know what I mean? Like new sentences, new nuance to describe the day, new ways to articulate today.
Style still exists.
It's brand new and similar, but
still
like
out there.
Like people. It's easy to draw like a sonic comparison to the qualities and how they compare to like Kaz Dr. Yenlo, but white people. It's funny, right? A compliment, by the way. But for the sake of like discussion, I entertain that. But I just feel like there's so many cats who do something similar. But if you're going to take it at the face value of, oh, this sounds just like this but different, or this like or white, like that is just intellectually dishonest or just simple. Like interpersonally, philosophically, and stylistically, Sunmundi and by extension Klwn Cat are doing things differently. Sunmundi is going off. It's like a dissertation. It's a codex. It's his architecture. There's so many coherent thoughts, more than you could even quantify, really. Like elaborate psychic maze of hella raps. And I left wondering, like, how does he write these? Like sometimes you hear a MC, you know what I mean? And it's like rappers be doing all types of shit. They rap their propaganda brochure. They rap to expand their aura and show you how dope they are. Some of them rap a roadmap. Some of them rap therapy. Some of them rap their diaries and shit. But what Sunmundi is doing, I feel like he's just like a philosophical poet, Prince of style lyricism. He's really just like he's so good at doing so many things. I've been talking for probably like 3 or 4 minutes now.
Well, just
myself,
to elaborate, like, one thing I really enjoy about this record is that while it can be like very abstract and philosophical, it also has like a brutality and a viscerality to it. Like if you look at that first track, Stay Compassionate, was the bar is what I was given, made it last, learn how to react. Sorry, I should highlight, I'm British, sorry, my bad. The rhymes aren't actually going to fit when I say them. Learn how to react with laughs to the whiplash, passionate scars and scabs, cymbal smash and piano stabs. Like, that's a violent image, right? The scars, the whiplash, piano stabs. Like, there's a material brutality to it that, like, kind of, as I was listening to it, I could feel it kind of wearing down on me. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in like a, when you watch like a Kurosawa movie and it's like, by the end of Seven Samurai, you feel like you've been in the mud for 3 days. And like several of your friends have been killed. Like you feel that brutality, you feel that viscerality, and there's
urgency in his voice, bro. It's not a diary. You know what I mean? It's not just
and I think that's why you hear him catch his breath a couple times, because I think he's just going all in, and I'm not gonna stop, and then he has to stop.
I like that.
Exactly.
I like that kind of breath, breathiness of it. It's like it's a part of the character of his style and his voice. And if he had different breath control, these might not sound as urgent. And I think the urgency is what makes a lot of this just like, you not only do you stop nodding your head to listen and figure out what he's saying, but you nod your head like, oh, in agreement, like I believe you, like I get that. And one of the other dope things about his style is that he's so good at like really flipping a term or a phrase or using it to like subvert another idea. Like I think I'm sound, but I move like a wavelength. You know what I mean?
right,
Like that
right,
type
right.
of shit. Or he's also good at creating like new aphorism-esque lines. You know, he's probably like he has so many lines that are just like, oh, that's a wisdom key right there. This brother is spitting mad
He's dropping
jewels.
jewels.
No ice in my life. I let the food chain dangle around my neck. Sticks and stones and bones and words is primitive methods. Flash bang, you get the impression. So many times he's just fucking bombing, bro. Fuck breaking the mold. I'm making a cast with it. You know what I mean? To you know what I mean? Hold his shit together. Like, death ain't a closed door, so I'll only open up in a casket. Bro, I was, when I got the lyrics to the shit, I was like, this is even more ridiculous
It's deep. He's got
than
a lot to
I
say,
thought.
and he's packing a lot into every line. You know, I mean, he's rapping at he could slow it down and it would still be tight, but the speed he's rapping is allowing him to say twice as much in a song. You know, so it's a lot of process. It's a lot of process.
It's like, you know, we were saying about the minimal shit, like Feek and Lungs. They are very like verbose and very dense visually and to do a lot of things. But again, if you really want to, like, it's a bad way to critique art in order to always compare it to other things as they're both the same fruit, even though that they might come from the same you know, biosphere. It's not, the Sunmundi is not the same as Feek or Lungs or Ka or Shamar or any of these other cats doing it. You got to look at those nuances. It's cool to do that, and I know the 18th element of hip hop is arguing about the shit and talking shit about the shit. That's a cool way to have conversations that are fun, but it's not a great way to critique art. And I think that what these cats is doing is mad art. Like even the production is as easy as it would be to dismiss like the sound qualities of it as being simple, or I know a lot of old heads might listen to it and be like, this feels incomplete because there's not enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or they need to add another element.
Solid,
the production is great. The beats are like a little bit more like soundscapes at times. They're not drumless. They often have rhythm, and especially when you put it into the idea of the words as those kicks. The sample choices are just so full and lush, and the mastering on this is great.
Harbingers is the one that I think, that's the one I was like, the music on here, I like this.
Yes,
I like
that's
this
my
a
favorite
whole
track on
lot.
the album. You know, like the swells on the second part of All in the Wind, the further, you know, it's got a slash and further. That shit, the swells on that song, so like they get so loud and they surround you. They surround you like a blanket. But Sunmundi's voice cuts through all of this just sound, and it is, I'm actually, can I run that one just so, you know what I mean, just to kind of give an example of the sonic quality here. Like the first part of this shit is dope as shit, like, you know what I mean, that pianos are like everything. One thing I also know is, like, for me, I didn't recognize any of these from artists or from, you know, I mean, like a symphony or anything. Like none of the sounds, like, but peep this, like.
Make sure you alive. Good, now make sure that you on the ground flat and not in the skies. Some sing lies, disguises lullabies. I couldn't see it coming down my eyes. I made the song cry. Sometimes I'm even too low for lows and highs. But if I look up, I know
The way that shit swells though, like.
With a bigger point, just can't put my finger on it.
And the lyrics, a bigger point, can't put my finger on it.
Some master hand.
Too low for hellos and highs.
Arizona's for like 4 quarters. I'm stuck in the zone. Check your pulse right now. Make sure you alive. Good, now make sure that you on the ground flat and not in the skies. Some sing lies, disguises lullabies. I couldn't see it coming down my eyes. I made the song cry. Sometimes bro.
This fool is spitting, and you know that tweet. Like, I'm looking at Sunmundi and just the name, which also I think his name is fucking raw. I'm like, Sunmundi just sound raw. I thought his background was going to be something like, you know what I mean, Southeast Asian, like, you know what I mean,
That's
some
what I
type
thought,
of.
is it not?
I don't know. Somebody say he sound like White Dr. Yellow. I was like, come on, bro. That's a compliment.
He looked like he
looked like he might be.
You were right about that.
Yeah, I thought so too. You know what I mean? But yeah, maybe that's something we'll ask him when we have a real conversation about it. But Yo, this shit is like, some of these soundscapes are amazing. Also on like New Pavement. Oh, hold on, I got so many notes on this. Like, hold on, the tempo and the cymbals are one of the, like, and especially the beat switch at the end where it's just like a little interlude. I love it. I really like how the beat matches the intensity and urgency of his delivery, to catch the origin of my voice, you gotta carbon date it. That's some original man shit, bro. Like, where is he from? You know what I mean? I don't think he's from the Caucasus Mountains with that type of bar. You know what I mean?
Like that.
He's fucking, you know, he said, if I said it, it's sacred. I wear various faces day to day to fit the stage. He be bombing. He be fucking bombing. I like
his
Sunmundi.
pin game is on point.
Yeah.
He's on point.
I'm sorry, I'm talking too much and not letting y'all get y'all shit off.
Nah.
Let me, you know what I mean? I'll be doing that all the
Nah,
time,
nah, get
Jenny.
it, get it, get it.
Here's the thing. I'm
I'll be
gonna
doing that.
tell you what I think about it, because it's kind of the same thing that I've always felt about Eminem and like certain artists. And you know, I mean, Eminem's more pop than the
Absolutely.
things we're reviewing, that's for sure. But I mean, I think the approach is the same. It's like, you know, I'm gonna bombard you, I'm gonna just spit it nonstop until it's like a machine gun in your ear, and so it proves a lot. It proves that, you know, you can handle this pen with dexterity. You're a gymnast. It really proves that, and that's what I respect about Sunmundi. He's got that. But you know, it's hard. Like we said, it's hard to process it all at once because of that.
Yeah.
So I think that's where some songs with some snares come in, because it would just kind of slow it down for the listener a minute to let him breathe while he still can do it. You know, I think he should have dropped a few in there like that. Not to be poppy, but just to have a little ride. You know.
I say go ahead and talk, and then I start trying to cut a motherfucker off and shit. My bad. To be honest though, like, I haven't enjoyed a lot of Kaz's new work because it's become very like no symbols in a lot of things. And to me, it's like, damn, this motherfucker writing audiobooks and shit now. And it's like the lyrics are still dope, but I don't really get that. I didn't have that kind of reaction when I heard this. It just took a while for this to kind of grow on me, for especially a full listen. It's a bit intense.
I would almost describe this as like proggy. It's almost like prog rock in places, because it's so dense that like every time I re-listen to it, I like pick up on something new that I'm like, oh, I didn't notice this bar the last time around, or like this little element of the production. This is
Also,
definitely
it
an
feels a
album
little self-indulgent at
It's a
times.
little self-indulgent at times.
Just because
but I love
urgency.
self-indulgent music. I'm a
time.
self-indulgent guy, so like that shit doesn't bother me. But it's like it really rewards repeat listens.
Hell yeah.
Like there are tracks on here that I think maybe don't work on the first listen. You know, they need to be repeated and to be thought about, and like having the lyrics ahead is also like helpful.
That's true. Yeah, having these lyrics would definitely make you have a new appreciation, because he's saying a whole lot in there, and they got bars. You know, and I like to write, and I pride myself on being able to catch things when I hear it the first time, but I couldn't catch everything the first time. I had to go back like, he's on it. He's on it.
You hear something, you think about it like, oh, that's an interesting relation, and then you miss 4 bars because you got to interrogate your thoughts on it, and it's like, I kept coming back and just finding, you know, on every single one of these tracks, I could probably write down 20 quotes that I think are like jewels, gems, to better yourself. You know, he's even interrogating his own self, and it asks you to do the same for yours. But, you know, he'll say something like, my rhymes make the kite fly backwards. I swim with the snakes and walk with the birds. Mad kind of simple when you think about it. But I ain't never heard. That's a new sentence in the world to me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Or the sun is my mirror. I only moonlight is a writer to get close to my center and see my own self clearer.
Wow.
Bro, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I gotta say that again. My favorite track is Harbingers. It's an amazing album ender, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you get to this shit, I was just like, oh man, that was a journey and a half, and it's just the way he gets off on this. This is beautiful. You know, I only put a few tracks on
Listen to that music.
Yeah, bro. Beautiful.
That's what it was.
Beautiful.
I can listen to this all day for some reason. This song right here.
This is, you know, I don't know how many albums we reviewed this year or how many songs that is, but my songs of the year list that I've played, you know, absurd amounts of times, this is one that's on that list of maybe 19 songs right now. Wow. I love this joint. Like, beautiful, beautiful. This is to me on the album the best example of how their work together makes it something like incredible for me. This is my favorite.
Right?
Yeah.
You gotta climb through the locked doors and block.
Wow. Yeah, I love this sound a lot.
It's
This
beautiful.
is my favorite on
yeah.
here too. That's why I said the music on here is killing everything.
Hold on, I was about to go to the lyrics and shit. Jess sent me the lyrics and I was like, yeah.
I got him here if you want to just.
No, I mean, like, as we listen to it, all you got to really do is just like read along with it, and you've got a. Hold on.
And
Lick the wound if you bleeding, but don't develop a taste for your own trauma.
Yeah. I remember that.
Bro, Sunmundi, I'm telling you guys, like, I know we get on here and we talk about, like, we're not reviewers that are going to be like, yeah, this sucks, this is terrible, this is bad. We try to take the art the way it takes itself and find the nuances that are trying to be expressed. And when we come across an album like this, it's just like, to me, it's like, bro, like, there was a lot of good in the world. There's a lot of dope in the world. There's a lot of dope in hip hop that you don't really need to focus on what Puff Daddy doing in his free time with all these people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be tapped into those other parts, man. The world is flourishing. Yeah, beneath the rubble.
Styles out there. There's still styles out there. You gotta find them. They're out there.
He one of the new unique stylers, bro. The fruits of your label could perish if you're not caring from the root. Bro, yeah.
Everything is a gem in this. Not just this song, but this project. But I like this song because it feels slower with this beat, and it's easier for me to hear it all. I don't know why. Yeah.
It's a very appropriate climax to the record too, right? Like,
right?
Yeah. Like, man.
Favorite tracks on the album, Jenna?
It's that one right there. The All in the Wind joint was dope. I saw they had a video for that one.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it's cool video.
I be so untapped into shit that I don't even know when a video coming out. Yeah, new Pavement, Harbingers, and I like Everything Is Everything, but I'm gonna go with those swells that are on. Also, Sun Met Moon, the guitar on that. Yeah, I don't. Last one. Hold on.
He's doing the thing again.
I'm doing the thing. I'm gonna name 10 tracks. Yeah, I'll go New Pavement, All in the Wind, and Harbingers.
I'm gonna go with Capitulation, Everything Is Everything, All in the Wind for
Everything Is Everything. Yeah, it's a nice project. It's a nice project, and it opened my eyes. I mean, I don't know. But I'm ignorant in a way. I don't know a lot of artists who put out a whole project where it's like this, minus the snares and minus that boom bap kind of to it, and it still sounds so solid.
I knew when we've got a third. El Spade is our third, and he offers a different type of insight to things, as we said in the beginning of the thing. But when I was thinking about some of the cast that I would appreciate to have on, it was you. And now knowing that you really don't be super tapped in with the underground like this, I think our channel is a really great place for that, because that's all we try to do. We ain't reviewing the Schoolboy Q because we got to make time for everybody else's stuff.
I be holed up like a hermit.
MIDI Neutron. You know what I mean? That's what we
sitting
doing.
in my corner writing.
Yeah. Or you want to do Schoolboy Q? I'll do it. Cuss, Crip, Cuss. No, but yeah. Hello Forever.
I would recommend this album to people who are into like the Japanese pink films. If you know about pink films, like I feel like that's a similar vibe. They're very intense.
Pinky violence type of films?
Yeah. Okay. Shit like Sex and Fury, Girl Boss Revenge, Skeban, like even Tokyo Ghoul Police,
Delinquent
like
Girl Boss.
Delinquent Girl Boss.
Scorpion.
All that shit, Scorpion, Just like it's like very intense and it can be lowbrow, it can be highbrow. And it's very beautiful. It's got a lot of beauty amongst all the bloodshed.
I would recommend this to fans that like A$AP Rock's first album, Float, for those long philosophical joints. People who love the song "Wise Up" by A$AP Rock. It's very similar. And he's got lines on that like, maybe the sunken ship is the treasure. An iron butterfly will float if given good conditions. And those type of jewels and like, little tidbits of thought that can become your mantras. It could become a part of your personal philosophy. You get that overload on this album, so I would recommend it to cats like that. And I would recommend this shit to you know, people that care about the craft of lyricism like Geno.
Yeah, I would recommend it to anybody who thinks they want to ever write a rap song. I would say go sit and listen to an album like this. You know, don't worry to think too hard, because it's gonna force you to think. Try to sit back, close your eyes, and I think it put people in a good mind state to say, you know what, I gotta do it my way, not to do it like this guy. But I think a lot of people set out to make a song because they want to be popular or they like to be like somebody. But I think just hearing it like this will inspire a lot of people to say, you know what, I could do what I want to do.
Word. The map is not the territory. Secret House Against. Check out the people. Consider joining our Patreon.
This is mad inspirational.
Shouts out to Clown Core. Shouts out to Kiadi Mundi. Shouts out Doja Cat, Cosmo Cat, Sun Kill Moon,
Cat Stevens.
Thundercat.
Cat around the corner.
My old cat, Bazooka. R.I.P. Bazooka, you know what I mean? R.I.P. Brian Bell, 619, HTK Style Syndicate. Yeet. You know the vibes.
This album is incredible.